All right, Facebook friends, thank you so much for joining us on ChiroSecure's Facebook Live. Today, we're going to cover creating videos using your smartphone. And I'm quite delighted to be with you today. I know I missed you last month, but I'm so glad to be back and with you again this month. As you know, this year, 2020, is 125 years of chiropractic success. We're going to be celebrating our birthday in very big style. And I want you to start learning some of the techniques. Some of you are already wizards at this. If that's the case, work with me. You might learn one or two things that I didn't know about using my smartphone and some of the things I could do. Stay with me on that. If you're brand new, don't be afraid. I promise that today's webinar, while short and sweet, is going to help you start getting more confident in using your cell phone or your smartphone as an opportunity to connect with your community. And that's really what this is all about. And as you all know, I can't do any of this without the support of our generous corporate sponsors. Take a look at that slide. ChiroSecure is one of them, but so many more that are just absolutely fabulous and allow us to market our national campaigns. Now, as we move forward today, there's a couple of fun things that we're going to cover. We're going to cover the facts about videos. We're going to cover how to create your own smartphone video and some of the tips that are really important to know that make you look more professional in your environment. And trust me, that it's not rocket science. A lot of times the best videos are just organic videos that you shoot quickly, but you do properly so that your audience gets to see you clearly. That's part of it. And then last but not least, I'm going to show you why Washington, D.C. is in the background and what F4CP is doing to make progress around the nation. So let's get started. As we know, video engagement is actually one of the key pieces in today's marketplace. In fact, videos is the way that consumers actually want to consume information. It also holds an incredibly high rate of engagement. And that's really what you want for your community. You want to engage them, get them inspired, educate them about what's going on in your practice. So as we do that, I want you to start thinking about what are you doing in your community and some of the things that are fun. And remember, it doesn't have to be all clinical. In fact, some of the best engaging videos are just bonding with your community and showcasing. Today we're out at the supermarket. I want to show you a couple of things that you could put in your diet that will make you feel better. So stay with me. We're going to have some fun. As we go through, remember that with viewers retaining 95% of a message when they watch a video compared to a 10% text, it actually showcases that videos are essential for you to market your own practice. And I want you to think about that as you're putting the messages out there. If people are consuming the information, that's a piece of sharing with their colleagues, friends, and loved ones what you put on video. And you don't have to make it long. In fact, the shorter the video, oftentimes the better the engagement. As we go through, we're going to talk about the tips. And the obvious part is sometimes tips are overlooked because we're in a very fast-paced environment, and we don't stop and take the time to really look at how to properly do these individual videos. So first step is going to be, let's make sure you clean off your camera lens. I know that sounds kind of funny, but your smartphone goes everywhere with you. It goes on dirty tables, it goes in dirty bags. So clear is good. And it is very frustrating when you can see a video and you know that they didn't clean their camera. Now that you know behind the scenes kind of stuff, you'll be more apt to actually start cleaning your camera lens before you take it. Moving on. Now, as we start to put the next steps in, I want you to open the camera setting on your smartphone and then click on camera. When you click the record video option, at this point, you want to set the video recording to 1080 high definition at 30 frames per second. I'm just going to show you a little video because I know a lot of you are visual learners like myself. So if you watch carefully, I'm going to show you the video and it'll show you how we got Alexis Lakehouse. Obviously, all know her, our director of marketing is put together her smartphone so you can kind of see what's going on here. Let's watch the video. As you can see, Alexis is clicked onto the settings. She's scrolling down to the camera, and you'll see when she clicks, she'll find her camera and she'll click on that camera. Then you want to go to where it says record video, and you'll see that there is 1080 HD at 30 frames per second. So that's kind of a nice way to showcase the beginnings of how to take a video, going into the settings, clicking down into your camera, and then being able to appropriately check the box so that you're going to be connecting with your audience in a way into which it maximizes their visual acuity. Okay. Again, just a quick video to see it. There's the camera. Click over to the record video, and then you're at 1080, 30 frames per second. Now, moving on to the next part is the orientation of the camera. Now, since most of the footage you shoot will actually be viewed on a desktop, tablet, or mobile device, this resolution of 1080 and 30 frames per second will give you the highest quality. And when you start to look at how you're going to orientate your camera, you want to shoot your video horizontally, unless you intend to upload it to Facebook, which we're all together right now, or Instagram. If you're planning to share your video on these social media platforms, actually shoot the video vertically. Vertical videos fit the frame better for Facebook and Instagram versus a horizontal shoot. So it's kind of an important tip when you're thinking about how should I hold the camera. Now, moving on to tips to create your very own video. Before you begin filming, ensure you avoid overhead lighting. Natural lighting is best and can be achieved indoors by utilizing windows. The key here is ensure that the shadows of the window panes do not cut into your shot. So that's kind of a big piece to making sure that you've got your lighting. Now we know you've already cleaned your camera lens and your settings are set, your talent is ready to be filmed, and now you're going to learn how to focus your camera on the person's face too. But you need to adjust your settings one more time to frame your shot perfectly. Return back to the camera settings and toggle the gear so that you see the grid option. And I'm just going to showcase that. There's your lighting that we were talking about, avoiding overhead lighting. And here is frame the shot. So you want to return back to the camera setting, toggle the grid option over to the green, turn on the grid on your phone, and that helps frame the shot. Now, a lot of you are sitting there saying, yeah, I don't know what you're talking about. Try again. Okay, I get it. Visually learning. So let's play that video so you've got this. Again, we're going to go into the settings. We're going to scroll down, and you're going to see the grid option. Okay. Once you're in there in your camera, there's the grid option. You just slide that forward. Okay. Once you get that grid option, you're going to be successful. So I'm going to play that one more time for you so you've got it down. It is going into your settings, into your camera, and then slide that grid option over to the green. And that's going to help turn on your grid on the phone, which will help you take the frame to frame the shot. So why is framing important? If you don't frame your person that you're talking to or yourself, the video seems awkward. And oftentimes when a video is awkward and you're watching it, you lose sight of the message. And remember, this is about engagement, and people are focused on the information less. So remember, that's one of our key criteria, is to ensure that our team is ready to listen to us and engage with us. Now, here you are on the grid. Using the grid on your screen, you're going to place your talent, which would probably be you or someone you know who has permission, to 2/3 of the frame, and then have those vertical lines through their face. That's a big piece, is when you're centering using this grid, you can ensure the person is really placed in the ideal spot on your camera screen. And then click on their face to focus, as we've learned before, and then hit the record. Okay, so that's a big key. Now remember, eye level really does mean something. It's frustrating when someone's eye level is not quite right. It when you get too far away, you lose the engagement again, but you want to be uncomfortably close. I know that sounds a little odd, but your talent at eye level with the person you're filming, they'll almost feel a little awkward. If you're at that awkward stage, you're perfect because now you're filming for the best results. If you're worried about having a shaky hand, don't worry, I've got a tip for that. We have some things that you can purchase. It could be a tripod or an inexpensive support equipment that you can get on Amazon to record your videos clearly. If the person is, again, uncomfortable with how close you are, you've got this right. So if you don't want to purchase an equipment like the one that you see here is called a gimbal to reduce the shakiness, in that's not quite in your cards, that's okay. What I'm going to have you do is to avoid shakiness, just lock your elbows down at your side. Make sure you're using two hands because that takes away a lot of the movement of the phone and you'll be able to film a little more appropriately. This should help improve the quality of your video and also avoid any movement in the video. And that's a big piece to trying to help you get that best quality that you can. Finally, important to note that 80% of social media will strip audio. So it's important that you add subtitles or captioning to the video if you're able to, depending on your upload platforms. And we will cover this at a later date on adding a little more information to your videos to make them a little more snappy. Again, if someone's flipping through Facebook and there you are, they don't have their audio on, you want to be able to show the subtitles. And in most cases, what I've seen at my kitchen table is I don't recognize that my teenagers are actually watching a video because the subtitles are there. So note to self, if you can do the subtitles, I would highly encourage that. Now, listen, there was a lot in this video for someone who hasn't really done any organic video using your smartphone. But don't worry, if you go to the Foundation for Chiropractic Progress, this is a tip sheet. You can download it and you can give it to your front desk, your chiropractic assistant, or your significant other that will be able to help you do your smartphone videos. Remember that if 95% of information is absorbed while watching video, then that's a pretty good place for you to connect with your community. Now, speaking of community, I promised I was going to tell you why I'm in Washington, D.C. Listen, this is very exciting. Along with our optimized performance campaign, which all of you know, we're going to be doing an Olympic commercial this summer, Tokyo Olympics. We're going to showcase it 5 times. It's a 30-second spot. It's extraordinary. And I hope that many of you will utilize that as part of connecting with your community. But listen, we cannot underestimate the power that the opioid epidemic has caused in our communities. It's devastating, and in many cases, it's something that we need to continue to work for. The foundation has worked almost 5 years in the opioid epidemic, trying to get the advocacy for marketing with you so that our community knows that there's safer options. Non-pharmacological pain care is often something that is overlooked from many of the legislators and many of the healthcare providers that have been providing these opiates. So what's back here? I'm the Foundation for Chiropractic Progress has been invited to the 3rd annual opioid summit being hosted by the World Congress. Now is the time to showcase what chiropractic is all about, the benefits and the opportunities to avoid adverse side effects that opioids can cause. So I'm delighted to take the entire profession to this moment to be able to have a talk that talks about non-pharmacological care away from the pharmacological options that they're now putting on the table. Does it seem reasonable to change an opiate for a benzodiazepine? The increase in devastation, although they say the prescription writing for opiates is going down, unfortunately, the adverse side effects are still there. And we see this because naloxone is being used tremendously more often. So we have not conquered this problem. I absolutely need you to join with the foundation. Remember that there's always a toolkit that's ready and available on the very front page of F4CP.org to help your patients understand the benefits and the risks that are associated with either using chiropractic and or an opiate. So please do celebrate with me the Optimized Performance campaign as we get closer. I look forward to sharing more with you next month. Now, speaking of next week, don't forget, ChiroSecure will be at this time with Kim Clapp, and she's always a favorite. She's fantastic, energetic, and very passionate about what she offers. So please don't forget to join me next month and help us move the benefits of chiropractic care across the nation together by organically filming your own smartphone videos. Thanks for joining me.